Alder Burmaster, can you let me know that you can hear our audio, please? Or Alder Smith?
I can hear you.
Yeah,
Thank
this is
you.
Tom. I can hear you too.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I can hear you.
Yeah, this is Tom. I can hear you too. Yep. This is Tom. I can hear you too.
How long is it gonna do that?
Carrie, can I try it one more time?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay, Alder Burmaster, I'm going to have you try it one more time for me, please.
Okay, now I can hear you.
And I think we have it. So we are going to go. Okay, thank you.
Jared, was there an updated pay estimates?
No.
Perfect. So we're good to go? Perfect, thank you. I would like to bring the Board of Public Works meeting to order. I show it as Tuesday, April 6th, 2021 at 6:35 PM. I don't know if that's okay. Please note that notices have been mailed and posted. Call to order and roll call. Diane Wolf is present. Mayor Kim Smith. Here. Jared Holter. Here. Fred Bueller. Here. Stephen Knott.
Present.
Also, please note in the viewing audience in person is Kevin Schubert, our assistant engineer, and Eric Renfleisch, our city administrator. Approval of minutes from previous meeting.
I move we approve. I'll second.
Motion by Mayor Kim, second by Alder Knott to approve the minutes from the previous meeting. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item number 3, public input, limited to 3 minutes per individual. If there is anyone who would like to give public input at this time, they may do so. Please state your first and last name and your home address, and your time is limited to 3 minutes.
Hi
Sure.
there.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. Drake.
Hi. Yeah, this is John Drake. Good evening. As some of you might remember, I'm the owner of 843 Summersday Lane in Greens Coulee. And yeah, I'd like to say that the fact that 3 owners of property on the west side of Summersday Lane took the trouble to give public input at previous hearings against the now approved sidewalk assessment should perhaps tell the board and the council that the installation of sidewalk on our side of Summersday Lane is premature at best. And having spoken with and emailed the city engineer, I also tend to think the assessment is maybe unfair. We were told in previous hearings that the plat indicated there'd be sidewalk on both sides of Summersday Lane. When I asked the city engineer to show me that on the plat, he wasn't able to do so. Subsequently, he emailed me an October 2006 transcript of a plan commission hearing that states that the Savannah plat will include the provision that, quote, all streets shall have sidewalks, sides except cul-de-sacs less than 300 feet in length. One side sidewalk required, end of quote. The plat certified by then city clerk and now alderperson Burmaster several months later in January of 2007 still doesn't indicate the sidewalks, but be that as it may, my question is, and I asked the city engineer this in an email almost a month ago and received no response. If the transcript, states all streets shall have sidewalks, both sides, except cul-de-sacs less than 300 feet in length, one side sidewalk required. And this is what I asked him. Does this mean Spring Hill Way, Harmony Point Place, Stonebridge Avenue, Green Coulee Road, the rest of Summersday Lane are to have sidewalk on both sides? And that was my question. Wasn't answered, and maybe there's a very simple answer to it. I don't know. But if these other streets are supposed to have sidewalk on both sides, well, why haven't they been included in the sidewalk assessment? Why was our side of Summersday Lane, which is still being built in, be included in the assessment and not some of these already built-in streets that have a lot more car and foot traffic? And that was my question. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wishing to give public input at this time may do so. Second call.
I see we have a couple other individuals on the YouTube video going tonight. If you would like to give public input, this would be your opportunity.
Third and final call for public input. Not hearing anyone, I will move on with the printed agenda. So we're good, Jared? Because I'm not hearing anyone.
Correct. I do not have any participants that are requesting any further public input.
And if for some reason, if the error is on our end, I'm sure the board would be willing to hear them when their item comes up, if the fault is at our end. So I'll move on with the printed agenda. I'll close the public hearing or the public input. Consideration and possible action on the following items. 4, review and consideration of requests for allowing sidewalk installation at 834 Rolling Oaks Drive and 857 Summersday Lane to be delayed until June 22nd, 2022, unless home construction has started. I'll turn this over to Jared.
Thank you. In your packet tonight, I did receive 2 requests for extension of the sidewalk to be installed beyond the summer of 2021. Mr. Balduzzi did state in his email that he is planning on August 1st of 2021, but he may be pushed back further due to material prices, and which is the property at Summersday Lane, 857 Summersday Lane. And then also we have the property at 834 Rolling Oaks Drive, which is requesting a 1-year extension. It was discussed at the council meeting, and I have worded the agenda as the council meeting was brought forward to allow those 2 individuals, because they put the request in, to delay the sidewalk installation until June 22nd of 2022, unless home construction is started.
And when you say home construction, we're talking that they have started their foundation.
Correct, that they have started the foundation of the home.
Okay. Thank you. So wishes of the board.
I will move that we approve the extensions that were submitted by Bob Collos and Nick Balduzzi through June 22nd unless they have started home construction.
Motion by Aldernaut, seconded by Mayor Kim to allow sidewalk installation at 834 Rolling Oaks Drive and 857 Summersday Lane to be delayed until June 22nd, 2022, unless home construction has started. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I understand that we have a couple, at least for sure, one other person online, and with the wishes or with the approval of other board members, if we could address number 8 and also number 15 next. Is that okay with the board?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
So item number 8, review and consideration of charges for snow shoveling violations. We'll take the first one at 1065 Charles Avenue. Jared.
Thank you. In your packet tonight, we do have 2 requests for consideration of charges for snow shoveling violations. We'll go through 8A first, which is 1065 Charles Avenue. I have included in the packet tonight an email from the owner of 1065 Charles Avenue and also our inspection notice that is from our inspection software where we note what we found when the inspection was done and some photos. So the first photo is the photo that our inspector took when they were out performing inspections, and the second photo is the photo of the snow removal. As you can note in our inspection notice, under comments, you can see that the snow drifted back over the sidewalk and it was shoveled before. But when they did go out and do the inspection, you can see that there was snow on the sidewalk. So that is the reason the inspector placed the notice for snow removal. This isn't a lot. As you can see, it does have a lot of frontage. It's a triangular lot, so they do have over 200 foot of frontage. So they did have a bill for $490 because city staff did clear the entire frontage. So the owner is stating that they shoveled their sidewalk to meet the ordinance, but then it drifted back in again and they did not get to it in that time. This owner does appear to be on the YouTube video tonight if you did have any questions for that owner.
And that would be Mark.
That's correct.
Mr. Beam, would you be willing to, would you like to give any input at this time?
No, Jared really kind of articulated it pretty well. It snowed overnight or in the afternoon and overnight on Thursday. And I woke up and used my snowblower in the morning on Friday. And then we were out of town that weekend. And my wife is pregnant and she was very sick. And we had a dog, unfortunately, that got very sick. And to be brutally honest with you, I didn't even look at my sidewalk again until it had been cleared at some point that week. And since it hadn't snowed again, I hadn't really thought to look at it again. So I apologize. I mean, the pictures tell you everything. It was certainly covered. So I certainly didn't keep up my end of the bargain, but was hoping that you guys might be able to kind of see where I was coming from and maybe reduce the fine or consider eliminating it, just knowing that I do my very best to try to keep up my end of the bargain.
Thank you, sir, for your input. Mayor Kim?
I have a question for Jared. Has this person ever been put on notice before?
In my recollection, we have never had a violation at this location. I for sure know we have not had one this year. We're doing a better job of tracking this year, obviously, with performing more inspections and using our GIS software to actually track them. So there have been no violations this year and none previous before that I know of.
And then as a follow-up question, Jared, I know we've talked about this before, but for the people listening and the record, how is the fine calculated?
The fee for snow removal is calculated on a flat basis based upon a $50 administrative charge and then $2 per lineal foot of frontage that we clear snow. Whether it's 1 inch or 10 inches, there's no difference in the charges.
So his lineal feet was 220 feet,
Correct,
and that's why the fine is so big.
correct.
Alder Knott?
I just want to clarify, I'm not sure if I heard right. Did I hear you say, Jared, that the city did not have to do his entire frontage? Or did I misunderstand that?
No, we performed the entire frontage. You can see in the picture, it was probably not all the way across the sidewalk, but we did perform the whole frontage.
Okay.
As far as I know, we cleared the whole frontage.
So wishes of the board.
Well, I will move that we move forward with the charges in accordance with our city ordinance.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Alder Knott, second by Jared to, if I heard you right, to move forward with our city ordinances.
With the charges in accordance with the city
Okay,
ordinance.
thank you. And under discussion, I interpret that to mean to enforce and uphold the $490 charge.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. But
Thank you. Mayor Kim?
Yeah, under discussion, I'm very sympathetic. I would like for the person to not have to pay the full amount, but the problem is we need to keep the sidewalks open for the safety of people walking. Fortunate that a lot of people do walk, and it needs to be safe for them. So if we had some kind of way to reduce the fine, we could consider it, but we just really don't unless they didn't actually have to clear 200 and whatever feet. It's very unfortunate.
Any other discussion at this time?
Just,
Go ahead, oh, sorry.
I just wanted to clarify too, that, there are, I guess, liability issues that are concerned with this too. Again, yeah, I do feel for the owner, I really do, but, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And Jared, item 8B, 1029 Wilson Street.
Thank you, Your Honor. In your packet tonight, you do have a email directed from the owner of 129 Wilson Street. This one, actually, I put the inspection photo in that we took at the time of inspection. And what I find interesting at the time of the inspection photo is the fact that there's a wheel track going in their driveway. And you can see there's been multiple pedestrians that have used the sidewalk before we went out and did it the next day.
Is this person on the phone?
They are not.
I'll move again that we proceed with the fines in accordance with our city ordinances.
Second.
Motion by Stephen Knott, second by Mayor Kim to proceed with the fines in accordance with our city ordinances. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And let's then go down to number 15, because I see Mr. Ritker is on the phone. Review and consideration of sanitary sewer charges for filling of swimming pools during the second quarter reading period. Jared.
Thank you. In your packet tonight, I have included an email from the resident at 306 9th Avenue South, Mr. Richter. He is filling his swimming pool and was not aware that we had changed the charges for the sanitary sewer. We did do this approximately a little over 2 years ago. One of the main reasons for this is we had a lot of snowbirds or people that would go south for the winter. So we had a lot of people that were gone January, February, March. So when they get their sewer reading for the year, it'd be very low. And then, as you know, before this, all 4 quarters were based on your lowest quarter for the sewer. So they would pay virtually nothing hardly for sewer for the whole year. So that's the reason we went to part of the reason we went to the second quarter. I guess with that, you know, it's one of those things that if somebody sprinkles their lawn early, we don't give a credit for that. We do have the option of getting a hydrant meter, but that's actually even more expensive than just paying the sewer charges with the charges that we charge for that due to the cross connection inspections and things. So it's just a tough spot here. Mr. Richter, would you like to add anything tonight?
Yes, thank you, Jared. My concern isn't to have to pay the sanitary sewer fee for this quarter. My concern is to make sure that the large amount is not included in calculating future quarters, because I don't want to have to pay that amount of sewer usage for multiple quarters. So.
And just to clarify, you would be charged for the other 2 quarters, which would be the 3rd and 4th quarter, the lower of the 2 amounts for the 1st or 2nd quarter. So whatever, assuming your 1st quarter was lower, which it should be if you're not filling your pool in the wintertime, your 1st quarter should be lower. So you should get that charge volume used to calculate your charge for the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Mayor Kim?
It's okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Richter.
If that's the way it is, and I'm only going to be charged for sewer usage for 1 quarter, I'm fine with that because I think that's only fair. My understanding was that it was going to be an average between the 1st and 2nd quarter, but if I'm wrong, then I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
And I will follow up with Mr. Richter and ensure that that is the case. But I think Fred's, our finance director, is nodding his head that that is the correct utilization of how we charge.
And Mayor Kim?
Jared, can you go through your calculation here and just like, I'm wondering like how much is it costing Mr. Ricker to fill his pool? Is that what this calculation is?
$83.20, assuming he's using 15,000 gallons, which was the assumption that we used in the calculation.
So that's just to fill the pool. That isn't what is. How
Correct.
it charges
That is
people.
just the sewer charges on the water used to fill the pool. There would still be more sewer charges on his regular usage. So his 2nd quarter bill will be higher than that. Correct.
It'll be whatever it probably normally is.
Plus the $83. Yeah. Well, and the water usage. There's also a water usage charge too on that had to be added to that.
Right.
Jared, I think we figured it came to $123+ total for sewer and water.
Okay. And I would just kind of go on to say that I have had a couple people call me because of getting their water bill, and the rate increase did go into effect on this bill also. So it might seem to Mr. Ricker like it is extra big, but there's the rate increase on top of the filling of the pool.
And Aldernaut?
Yeah, so if Mr. Richter's no longer contesting this, do we even need to take action at all? Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay.
Okay.
But Jared, you'll.
Thank you very
follow up.
much.
I'll follow up with Mr. Richter this week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richter.
Thank you, Mr. Richter.
Madam Chair,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Uh,
I would suggest that the document be filed.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I would suggest that the document be filed.
Oh, yes.
I move that we place the review and consideration of the sanitary sewer charges for filling the swimming pool on file.
I'll second.
Motion by Mayor Kim, second by Aldernaut to place item 15 on file. Discussion? All those in favor of said motion say aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. So back to the printed agenda. And I believe we are on item 5, review and consideration of addendum number 1 of City of Onalaska Stormwater Management Plan. Jared.
Thank you. Your packet tonight include addendum number 1 of our stormwater quality management plan, which was originally produced in 2008. and this is the first time we've had an update performed on that plan. A couple of the big items that the DNR wanted to see, the DNR came in about a year ago, did a review of our stormwater policies and what we had been accomplishing. A couple of things that they wanted to see. One of them was a pollution plan, which was for our public works facility that we did not have, which was accomplished as part of this stormwater management plan. And also to get our modeling of our suspended solid removal for the city updated, which had not been performed since the original plan. I am happy to report we were below the 20% suspended solid removal according to our original modeling. But now we are at 21.56%, so we're above the 20%, which is a DNR minimum. This plan should have the city in compliance with our stormwater permit. That's the next item that you see. Those are items that you'll see that our assistant city engineer add on that plan. So I'd add Kevin, if Kevin's got anything he wants to add, he kind of worked with this consultant on making sure this plan was produced. So if he's got anything else he wants to add, he could add something.
Kevin?
Yeah, probably not a whole lot to what Jared said. I think it's just a good thing that probably needed update. You know, it was running down almost 15 years old, so this is a document the engineering department can use for guidance on future projects and as we move forward, stormwater management, where, you know, maybe the biggest bang for our buck is. That's what helps us. Also, as the consultant has laid out, you know, this is where you can add substantial nutrient removal if you do things at these certain facilities. To greatly increase the removal. If you want to do something scaled back, it's also in there. So really a good document to get updated for the city.
Thank you, Kevin. So wishes of the board.
I would make a motion that the city adopt addendum number 1 for the stormwater quality management plan.
Did you say to adopt?
To adopt it.
Yeah, I just can't
Correct.
hear anything. Thank you. Motion by Jared, second by Mayor Kim to adopt addendum number 1 of City of Onalaska Stormwater Management Plan. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor of said motion say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 6, review and consideration of Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources 2020 Stormwater Permit Annual Report. Jared.
Got my item shuffled around here. In your packet tonight, you do have the updated or our 2020 stormwater management permit yearly report, which must be submitted as part of that yearly plan. Our assistant city engineer, Kevin Schubert, did work on that document as he does every year. Once again, that document does have parts from the stormwater management plan update, such as the modeling and the pollution plan that were requested. Really nothing a lot of it's changed. I would point out, you know, we do a lot with public information, public education as part of that permit. Kevin sits on the public education committee that is a consortium of communities around our area. It's a great thing. Really not a lot to report in that permit. It's kind of the same as what we've done before, just really the updates from the stormwater management plan. We'll say that we do a lot of erosion control inspections and things. It's all pointed out in that plan or that report for what we do each year. Just looking for approval.
Thank you, Jared.
I move that we approve and accept the 2020 stormwater permit.
I'll second.
Motion by Mayor Kim, second by Aldernaut to approve and accept the Wisconsin DNR 2020 Stormwater Permit Annual Report. Discussion. Aldernaut?
Just a question for Jared, and it's just out of my own curiosity, I think. On page 115, you've got the potential sources for contamination that are part of this report. The very first one, obviously, looks like it's probably a significant potential, you know, if something were to go wrong there, and that's the salt and sand storage. I wonder if you could just clarify for me how you safeguard that.
So our salt sand storage by the rules that were given by the DNR is actually inspected by the DOT every year. Every spring they come out and inspect our storage facilities and look for any leakage, anything that we might be having problems with. Our sand salt storage is under a covered lean-to, and then all of our actual salt storage is actually stored in salt sheds. So it's an enclosed, four-sided enclosed structure with a door. We have this year's inspection, we will be bringing through the budget. Our oldest shed actually probably needs some work done to it because we're starting to get some leaching through. So that will be a budget item coming up in the next few years we'll have to work on. We do have the salt brine area, but that is actually inside of our cold storage where we fill the trucks and produce that material. So if we would get any leakage out of one of those tanks, it would go into our sanitary sewer clean out drains that are right there. So we are covered fairly well, meeting the regulations in that regard. So I think we're very, very good in that area.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think we have voted yet, have we? No. Thank you. So, any other further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of said motion to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item 7, Resolution 25-2021, preliminary resolution regarding assessments for concrete sidewalk and concrete apron at various locations on Alaska, Wisconsin. Jared.
Thank you. Basically, the engineering department and myself, we missed one in the first list. We had found one more spot in Greens Coulee in the Aspen Valley subdivision that had an empty sidewalk. Very hard to see on our map. We actually noticed it at a later date and are bringing it forward because we think it should be done with the rest of the sidewalks in the Greens Coulee area. So we're requesting approval of this to set up the public hearing at the May 4th Board of Public Works at 6:30 p.m.
Thank you, Jared.
I'd make a motion that we approve the resolution 25-2021. That would include the public hearing at the next Board of Public Works meeting.
Motion by Jared, second by Mayor Kim to approve Resolution 25-2021 and hold a public hearing at the May 4th Board of Public Works. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Let's see, we've already handled 8. Number 9, review and consideration of 2021 miscellaneous concrete project bid. Jared.
Include in your materials tonight as the bid tabulation for the 2021 miscellaneous concrete project. We did have 4 bidders for this project. Our apparent low bidder was Fowler and Hammer at $252,420. It is staff's recommendation to move forward with that bid. There are a variety of projects that are within this bid. We have the item 1A from the capital improvements for general concrete repairs, 1B, which is the 1A is the $75,000 for the concrete replacement, sidewalk replacement program. 1B is miscellaneous concrete repairs throughout the city. 1E was for sidewalk to be ordered infill sidewalk, and we actually upped that a little bit because we decided to do all of those. $30,000 from the stormwater utility to fix catch basins within the city, which is part of this work. And then also the Dash Park work down by the 2nd Avenue State Highway 35 sidewalk area. So with all those added up, we actually had just under $260,000 in the budget, and the bid came at $252,420. The bid, we will be utilizing less than what is actually in the bid. We've already seen some of the infill sidewalks starting to be installed. The one at Ultra Credit Union actually has already been installed. So we will hopefully be under on that project at the end of the year.
Thank you, Jared. Mayor Kim.
I can make a note. What was the 2021 operating budget funds?
The stormwater utility funds. That's the $30,000 to repair catch basins. That's the only, all the rest of it is capital projects.
Okay, that just kind of caught
Yep.
my eye.
Yep.
Well, I'll move that we approve the 2021 miscellaneous concrete project to be done by Fowler and Hammer for $252,420.
Motion by Alder Knott, second by Mayor Kim to approve and award to Fowler and Hammer the 2021 miscellaneous concrete project bid in the amount of $252,420. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item 10, review and consideration of 2021 fiber optic project bid. I see that these bids will be brought to, well, they'll be opened day of council next week.
Correct. We wanted to get this project out for bid, and we, with our advertising requirements and everything, this is our last project to get out for bid. Kevin Schubert, our assistant city engineer, did get it out, but we are going to be opening the bid actually on the morning of the council meeting and bring it forward to the council. Kevin can give a little update here, but we have been seeing a lot of bidding activity on that project.
Kevin?
Yeah, to date, there seems to be some very good interest from a number of contractors. Myself and Frank Livermore, who's our design consultant, have fielded quite a few questions in the last week. Really project-specific kind of thing. So hopeful that we'll see a good bid next Tuesday.
Great. Thank you, Kevin. So moving on with item 11, review and consideration of 2021 tandem axle truck bid. Jared.
Thank you. In your packet tonight, I have included a bid tabulation. Hopefully it's readable, Alder Wolf. We thought about blowing it up, but it's got a lot of numbers in it. We did open bids Tuesday, March 30th for the equipment for the chassis and cab that was approved at the previous meeting. We did have Universal Truck and Equipment with a total bid of $173,108. This is for the items that are not highlighted. So this would be for the total of the items that are not highlighted in your bid tabulation. We did have the cab and chassis came in at $81,915. Assuming we award this bid for $173,108, we would be at $255,023. We did have $265,600 in the capital improvements project budget. This is one of the things where we typically for many years now have only been getting one bid. This is the local vendor that does this plow truck setup for all across the state. There is another local vendor, but they do not have not been doing the larger trucks like this. And there's one other competitor, and because this is about 20 miles up the road, they just don't want to compete with this vendor. So we've only been getting the one bid. So it is staff's recommendation to award the bid to Universal Truck and Equipment.
Thank you, Jared.
I move that we award the bid to Universal Truck Equipment for a total of $173,108.
I'll second.
Motion by Mayor Kim, second by Alder Knott to award the tandem axle truck plow and equipment bid to Universal Truck Equipment in the total amount of $173,108. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item 12, review and consideration of 2021 library roof replacement project bid. And Jared, you gifted us a handout.
Yes, we did open that. Kevin Schubert, our assistant city engineer, did open that bid this morning. We did only have one bidder with the base bid of $63,063 with a bid alternate of $23,086. The base bid is for I'll call it the front portion of the library roof, and the bid alternate was for the rear portion of the library roof. I can have Kevin maybe give a little explanation. He's been working on this one as far as the bidders for the project.
Kevin?
Yeah, thank you, Jared. Yeah, so moving forward here, this was a project, probably just time and circumstances is why we only got one bidder. I was contacted by a number of potential bidders that just wanted to make the city aware that they were almost full up for the year. When you look at shingle installation, on that side. So this was kind of an oddity where we did get some interest in terms of contractors calling, but it wasn't about questions. It was letting the city know that, you know, we would take out plans. We would like to do work with the city, but unfortunately, you know, we're already booked up for the 2021 season. So that was kind of an unfortunate timing on this one. If you look at some of our other projects, even the miscellaneous concrete bid, we had some competitive bids, especially on some contractors that normally don't bid. So that was kind of some work that seems to be the market is saying that work is still available, and there's plenty of people still looking for projects to fill out their construction season. Unfortunately, on this one, we didn't see that sort of diversification, maybe in competitiveness on the bid. I don't think it was for a lack of a quality project or anything with the city. It was just the local contractors in the area are already full, and they were just trying to be honest with us and not say, hey, I'd like to have the project and then come ask for a change order to extend it to next year. Sometime I do think we got a competitive bid based off of this. I did get questions from Olympic Builders. They actually were out looking at the project this morning, pre-bid. They were on site getting their numbers together. So there was interest from them. I think it's a good bid. They are a good quality contractor. We have awarded work to them in the past, but this was just more of a time and circumstances on the bidding, you know, as this was a project for our capital improvements project that the city felt was something that needed to be done. Potentially, unfortunately, that was a thing that needed to be done where the market is saying there's a lot of already work out there for this, and people aren't maybe as hungry or traveling as far for that work.
Thank you, Kevin. Mayor Kim?
What was the budgeted amount?
Budget, so that's where I was gonna, that was my next item. So we, in the capital improvements budget, we budgeted 75,000 for this project. That was a price that was, estimate that was received by our building and grounds manager, Brian Babish, last August. So, as you know, material prices have went up significantly over the last, year here. So if you did award the entire project, it would be $86,149. We do have $259,000 in the capital improvements, 2008 capital improvements fund balance for this year that was designated for the library. So there are funds if you would choose to award the bid alternate.
Thank you, Jared.
I guess I didn't realize we didn't make a motion yet. I move that we award the bid for the library roof replacement to Olympic Builders for the base bid plus build alternate one, which is $86,149. And then the amount over budget to come from the library designated capital improvements funds.
Motion by Mayor Kim, seconded by Alder Knott to approve and award the combined base bid and bid alternate number one for two Olympic Builders in a total amount of $86,149. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item number 13, review and consideration of utility installation for the Fields development, including Fields Court. Jared.
In your packet tonight, I have included the plans for the water and sewer installation for the Fields Court area. This is proceeding to the south from Krause Road, County Trunk Highway S intersection. This would be east of Sand Lake Road in the present open area that is has been owned by Elmwood Partners. This is typical. These larger developments will bring in the water and sewer to get approved for installation. This would be installing at 2 city specifications. This sewer and water has been sized to through previous work on the installation of the materials we're connecting onto has been sized to go further to serve further south toward the Mayo property also. So this will be a good thing to get in. This all won't get put in one summer. It'll take multiple years to get this installed. So I guess with that, I make a motion that we approve the installation of the water and sewer installation for the Fields development.
Motion by Jared, second by Alder Knott to approve the utility installation for the Fields development, including Fields Court. Discussion, Mayor Kim.
Yeah, and under discussion, I just wanted to confirm, because when I looked at this, it is really small and besides the fact it's outside of my area of expertise. So we're relying on staff's judgment to have reviewed this. I don't personally have the technical knowledge to review it, but I'll definitely support moving forward and make the assumption that it meets all the specifications that we've discussed previously about this development.
Jared?
So it not only will it have to meet city specifications, but they will have to get Wisconsin DNR approval for the water and sewer. We actually did receive a comment today from the Wisconsin DNR and the sewer approval that's going through right now. So those will also, they will also need those approvals too.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item 14, review and consideration of State Trunk Highway 16 multi-use path maintenance agreement with La Crosse County. Jared?
We have previously approved a agreement to perform the maintenance on the off-street path along Highway 16, but since that agreement was approved, we actually went to the Wisconsin DOT and approved an agreement on construction of the path. So that part of it was removed from the county agreement. So now this is just a county agreement for the city of Onalaska to take over maintenance of the path once it's constructed. So it's actually an easier agreement than the last one, less wording to it. So this is, hopefully we're moving this forward for approval since we already in theory approved it once already.
Mayor Kim?
Has the city attorney reviewed the MOU?
Yes.
I move that we approve the State Trunk Highway 16 multi-use path maintenance agreement with La Crosse County.
Motion by Mayor Kim, second by Aldernaut to approve the agreement with La Crosse County. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. We've already dispensed of item 15. We'll move on with item 16, review and consideration of La Crosse County Solid Waste Department Phase 2 North Landfill Expansion. Jared?
Thank you. In your packet tonight, I have included the paperwork that was received from the Wisconsin DNR regarding the landfill Phase 2 North expansion at the La Crosse County Solid Waste Complex. The city's been working with the landfill for about over a year now, working through documents for the landfill expansion and agreements for it. I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention because they will be receiving public comment after they approve the facility engineering report. And we do have a copy in the engineering department of the full facility engineering report and engineering plans, if anyone would like to see them. Just bringing it forward for an update basically tonight. I don't think we need any approvals or anything, but if anybody has any questions, I can get them answered.
Okay, thank you, Jared. So this is really not an action item?
No, I don't think it would have to be an action item.
Okay.
Eric.
So we will move on with item 17 then. Pay estimates, Strand Associates, Inc., MSA Professional Services, Inc., Livermore Technologies, LLC, and any other contractor developer. In the packet, it's dated April 6, 2021, items 1 through 5.
I move we approve items 1 through 5 as on the monthly estimate sheet dated April 6, 2021.
I'll second.
Motion by Mayor Kim, second by Aldernaut to approve the pay estimates dated April 6, 2021. There are 5. Discussion. Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item 18, adjournment.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Mayor Kim, second by Aldernaut to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed, we are unanimously adjourned at 7:20 this evening. Thank you, everyone, for coming this evening. That's, yeah.
Kept waiting for you to jump in.
You guys are too fast.
He didn't look up.